Modern Warfare 2 has been out for around 4 days as of this video going live, and I've personally grown to really like this multiplayer and how Infinity Ward have put this together in general. I like the maps, the weapons are all really fun to use, and the perk system is great and I've learned to love it over time, along with the kill streaks also being very fun to earn and to go for and use as well. Of course, there is no running away from that of skill-based matchmaking, but other than that, I think this is a really solid multiplayer and will only get better over time. Although, I always get comments from people exclaiming that they just can't seem to ever do well in lobbies, or get a break from that of skill-based matchmaking. They feel the game is too campy and are just struggling to find their flow in matches. Well, in this video, I want to give you a couple of massive tips that I wish I knew going into my first couple of games, and generally what I wish going into this game in general. I use these tips almost all the time now, and I've got to say I'm enjoying the game a lot more because of it. So hopefully if you take these on board and let me know how you feel down below in the comments, you may be able to also do the same. It would be very much appreciated though, everyone, if you could leave a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel as well if you are brand new. We've got lots of content coming, and let's dive straight in. Now, the first tip, probably the easiest one to do and one that won't require a change in gameplay at all, and that is playing with friends. Each friendship group probably has that 1 or 2 players within which are just a little worse than the rest, resulting in the overall lobby KD to be reduced significantly when going into games when they're partied up with you. This means easier lobbies overall and more enjoyment for you when playing. Now, I hate playing this game on my own personally, it just does my nut in and I can't seem to gel with it. I always come up against people which are playing for $1 million in the COD Champs final and I just can't be arsed with it anymore. Skill-based matchmaking is never going away, so rather than sit and bitch about it forever, we just need to try and find ways around it and make the game more fun for us and however we want to play it. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer at its base is fun, taking away that skill-based matchmaking bullshit. And for me, playing with friends makes this 150 times more enjoyable. Personally, me and my friends always stick to the likes of Domination, Headquarters and Hardpoint, meaning we get maximum points, and the lobbies at the time are very, very good. Some of them being very easy, whereas some of them are a little bit more competitive, so it's a lot of fun to, to have those communications between one another, push for the objectives and just have some fun whilst doing it. Not just for the way to abuse skill-based matchmaking, but I'd massively recommend spending more time playing with friends if you can do that rather than soloing, because your life will be so much easier when playing this game, and you may find that when you are getting dicked in some of the more competitive lobbies that you personally handle it way better than what you would if you were soloing, so it's always fun to do that. However, I do need to add this at the very end of this section because this also applies to me and will probably apply to many of you guys as well. With skill-based matchmaking being so strong in this game, some of your friends may not want to play with you if it's just you and them, or a couple of them and then you as well. I would personally recommend a 3 to 4 player party size if you can, including yourself. This size I find works best for the more fun gameplay experience, and it really does level out the KDs in that lobby. Unless you're of course reverse boosting with just the one account. However, if you do play in a lobby with a friend whose KD is similar to yours, or even much lower for that fact, you're both going to be put into a lobby where your friend will not want to play with you because it'll be much higher than what they're used to, meaning they're going to do terrible and just make them not want to play this game. You need to remember, if their KD is lower than yours, and their lobbies generally are going to be way easier than yours anyway, whereas when they pair with you, that bracket increases tremendously, meaning that they're in a whole different world of shit when playing in your sweaty lobbies. Unfortunately, that is skill-based matchmaking, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. That's why I'd recommend playing in a 4-man lobby if possible. It just levels out the KD so much better, and it puts you into lobbies which are way easier. This next tip is around playstyle, so it does apply to solo or team players. I'm personally a rush player. I love to rush into objectives, I love to rush into domination flags, hardpoints, headquarters, whatever it might be, even other non-objective modes like TDM and kill confirmed, and go for those really high streaks, with all my friends loving to push for objectives and play the game that way. It's just the player that I am and I've grown to be, and I've always been like it. However, I do find that much harder to do in Modern Warfare 2 because of, one, the map design, the overall philosophy of Infinity Ward when creating and developing this game. Infinity Ward wanted to make a game for the casual player at the forefront, right? This means that if a player wants to play slow, they will facilitate that with safe spaces, plenty of cover around the map, windows, doors overlooking choke points, areas to mount on, and even higher ground for that verticality. You can rush all you like in Modern Warfare 2, but even in those easier lobbies, you still find you're being shot all over the place with no real understanding of where the fuck that guy was or how he got there. With there being no traditional minimap either and no punishment for not using a suppressor in this game really other than just hearing them, it's hard to pinpoint these things and it's really irritating to be quite honest, so I started playing slower. If you can't beat them, you've just got to join them, and it's so unfortunate to say, but it is exactly how it is. Unless you are reverse boosting, unless you are using some form of VPN to get easier lobbies, you just need to join them. I started doing things like pre-aiming doorways, corners when generally you're moving around the map. I stopped tack sprinting inside buildings and when I'm going into buildings or even around corners and in tight-knit places. I would always ensure I'm listening out for footsteps as well, doors opening, gunfire where that might be on the map, even suppressors you can hear them slightly too, and keeping an eye on the minimap if all UAVs are active or advanced UAVs. Look, people won't like it, but being a slower player in this game rewards you much more than rushing. I'm not saying do it in every single game or that you can, because in some games rushing does work, but the majority of games it doesn't, and I know that firsthand by playing. And even just trying to do it as much as possible as well, and resulting in the slower play is the only option sometimes. If you don't have a big group of friends to play with, try this methodology, or reverse boost. Why not? If that's how you want to have fun, then do it. There's no shame in it at all. As I've said, bitching about skill-based matchmaking gets us nowhere, but if we can find ways to get around it and enjoy ourselves, then why not go ahead and do that? It is not the end of the world. That is going to be it for today's video, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed. Again, these are two massive points I would massively recommend to take on board and to try when going into these games. I understand that not everyone has got a bunch of friends to play with. This is one of the reasons or one of the ways that I like to get around this egregious skill-based matchmaking system in Modern Warfare 2. So it's definitely worth giving it a go. But I hope you have enjoyed today's video, everyone. Leave a like if you have, subscribe if you guys are brand new, and we'll see everyone in the next video.